Welcome to Your Next Mission podcast with the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army and co-founder of the American Freedom Foundation, Jack L. Tilley. Proudly presented by Cavalry Agency, Navy Federal Credit Union, Purdue University Global, and Veterans United Home Loans.
Good day out there, veterans and families. Welcome to Season 2 of Your Next Mission podcast, a program initiative of the American Freedom Foundation. I'm Jack L. Tilley, 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, and your host. We have a great show for you. I shouldn't say just a great show. We have a wonderful show for you today. We're going to be talking to a couple of my friends that are going to give you some great information about our Army. Before we get started, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like us and subscribe that button. In fact, I'm going to ask the people on the show today to make sure they subscribe, and they're going to be one of our people that get one of our Your Next Mission t-shirts. And if you subscribe today, you can get one. All you got to do is make sure you put a comment in the box below so we know where to send the t-shirt. We're going to focus today on Army Recruiting Command. And I tell you what, the Army does a great job each and every day. And I'm proud to say I served 36 years, and I want to give back just like every other veteran. Now, before we get started, I want to thank our presenting sponsors, Cavalry Agency, Navy Federal Credit Union, Purdue University Global, and Veterans United Home Loans for making Your Next Mission happen. They love our veterans and families, and as I always say, we love them too. As I mentioned, today's theme is about Army Recruiting Command, and I'm so excited to welcome back. Now, this is a first for us. Welcome back to the first people that ever, two leaders that came back. They must be, shell shocked from last time, but they're going to come back and talk to us again. Two great leaders from the United States Army Recruiting Command, Fort Knox, Kentucky, Major General Kevin Vereen, and Commanding General, and Command Sergeant Major John Foley, Command Sergeant Major. Sir, Sergeant Major, welcome back. So good to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks for having us on here, and glad we made the cut to come back.
Well, it was you was on the floor. We had to bring you up, so that was
we're definitely excited to be here. So thank you.
Well, I tell you, just before we even start, we're going to ask you a few questions, and I know everybody is pumped up. I'm pumped up. In fact, one of the things I want to ask you, is it too late for me to come back in? Never mind. We'll talk about that later. I know the audience is eager to hear about both of you, and there's no question about that. But before we get started, could each one of you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? And so we're going to start with you, protocol-wise. You go first, sir. That's the right way to do it.
Okay, all right. So great. I was going to defer and push it over to Sergeant Major.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I got it.
All right, sir.
I got it. So just real quick, of course, I am a Army brat. I'm born and raised in the Army, basically. Father served for a number of years, retired. I was actually born in Fort Bragg. So Fort Bragg's my home. I currently have one son serving. I've got one son that's going to be commissioned here in May, and he's going to be a field artillery officer. So he's going to be heading off to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and then he'll get his follow-on duty station. So got brothers who have served. Both have since retired. And just very excited about the Army. The Army is really a family business for me and my family, and just truly excited to be able to serve and be able to continue to give back.
Sir, how many years do you have it now?
I've got 31 years.
Well, you want to call anybody with 31, I call them rookies. I had 36 when I got it. Sergeant Major, how about yourself? Tell us a little about yourself.
So, I'm used to going first. So I'll back.
Are you really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I'm used to going first, and so he always defers to me, and he bats cleanup. But hey, so the Army, so the CG said he's an Army brat. I'm an Air Force brat. But I'm proud to be. Exactly. But I am proud to be a first generation Army soldier in my family, and so really proud of that for the last 32 plus years in the Army. So I joined when I was 17. As an air defender, and so served in all kinds of units across the globe, as you can imagine. Did detail recruiting in the mid-'90s in Arkansas, and now obviously as a command sergeant major for the recruiting command here. My spouse, she retired as a as a soldier for life in 2010 as a first sergeant. So she's been waiting on me for a little while, and she's gonna have to wait a little bit longer because I love what I do and I love being the CSM for this command.
You know, it's really funny. Now, I know your wife retired as a first sergeant, but I think she's a commander in your house anyway, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she puts she puts me at attention.
I've been married 52 years, and I know who's in charge. You know, I've been going around a long time.
Yeah, I do have I have a 4-star general that is at my house. So
oh no, we all understand that. It's but I'll tell you, the key to success to all of us is our spouse. I don't think I ever could have made it through the military without the commitment, the dedication, the loyalty of my spouse, and all the things she did. So, hey, sir, can you tell us a little about the history of the Army Recruiting Command and what some of your major initiatives are to attract new recruits now?
Well, no, that's a great question, and so without giving a long history lesson, I'll just tell you the Army has been in the recruiting business since the Revolutionary War, as you all know.
I was there. I know that.
You definitely know your history. We had to recruit then, and so bring young men on to fight. That was kind of where we started. Since then, of course, we've gone through a couple of different iterations and things through our history. Primarily conscription was really how we grew our force. Basically, you didn't volunteer; you were basically voluntold. And then, of course, we've gone through the draft and the selective service through the years as the Army continues to exist. And then, of course, in 1973, when we started the all-volunteer Army, the all-volunteer force, then we really professionalized our recruiting entity, and that's when United States Army Recruiting Command really became a professional recruiting force to really grow and to make our Army ready. With young men and women to serve in the United States Army.
Yeah. Hey, Sergeant Major, I'm gonna ask each one of you a question. Well, I'm gonna ask the other if they want to add anything to it. Sergeant Major, you want to add anything to that about the?
I think you hit it all spot on. I mean, a 1973 all-volunteer force, and so really proud of that. Yeah. So anybody that joins the Army today, they do it because they want to serve, and that's what we're looking for. Talented people, right people.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that, but when I came in, I listened to sort of, they had the USs and RAs and stuff, and it was a good Army, but it wasn't the Army it is today. There's no question about that.
Right.
Because, they had a lot of discipline and plums, a lot of different things, but the Army today is just unbelievable. We're not the biggest Army, but we're the best fighting force in the world. There's no question about that. Sergeant Major, can you tell us a little bit about the challenges recruiters face today?
Oh, yes. So this is a great question. So obviously we experience challenges in any era that we recruit out of it. Certainly what I did in the mid-90s and what's happening today. And some of those challenges are similar, but they do change. Today, the biggest challenge our recruiting COs face today is the face-to-face interaction with people. And so schools, communities. And so it's very powerful for our recruiting NCOs to get out to engage people face to face. That's where they're really challenged today. We use other systems, digital systems, social media. That has an impact, but really it's the interaction face to face over the last 2 years of the operational environment that we're experiencing today, obviously with the pandemic. And so the second thing is, about 75% of our people between 16 and 28 years old know little or nothing about the Army. So how do we make that connection for the Army to the American public within our communities? And then the third thing is basically qualifications. And so about 75% of qualified or military age men and women are disqualified from Army service. And so a lot of that has to do with health, obesity, and some of those law and drug violations out there that we won't take into the Army based off of those values.
Yeah. The other thing too is I think it's still the same. You take a lot of people in, but you put out some of those people don't get through basic and AIT. I think when I was still on active duty, I think the number was around 4,000. I don't know if it's probably a lot different now, but there's a large number of people that just for some reason they don't fit in or have medical issues that you don't know anything about, and they have to put them out.
Right. Yeah, I think, Sergeant Major Army Tilley, I think that the thing with attrition has really it's been a benefit for us. Our attrition rates now, for folks who can actually get into basic training and complete basic training, the attrition rates are fairly low. So that's been really good for us. So I think it shows the quality of young men and women that we're trying to put into the Army, because we want to make sure that they're successful through basic training and of course, when they get to their first duty assignment and be able to endure that.
You hear a lot about people say, it's, I guess old guys like me, I don't say it, but I've heard a lot of people say, the people that they're putting in the military today is not quite as good as I was years ago. And first of all, I think it's baloney. You want to say anything about that, about the young recruits that we put in the service now? Either one of you.
Yeah, SMA, I think that's furthest from the truth. I mean, our youth today are smarter than we are. They're just more technologically advanced. They have lots of great ideas, and they want to make a difference. And that's really when we try to seek out talent, bright young men and women that want to serve. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. It's a challenge. I know it was a challenge when I was on active duty. That really what it makes me think about is your recruiters are doing a bang up job if they're bringing in that kind of quality people in. And so obviously you guys are doing a great job too. We're talking with Major General Kevin Vereen and CSM John Foley from the Army Recruiting Command. And you're listening to Your Next Mission podcast with me, your host, Jack L. Tilley, 12th Sergeant Major Army. And don't forget, if you're enjoying this discussion, please like us and click on that subscribe button below. We want you to follow. Our goal is to have a couple 100,000 people watching this show, and with you guys on the show, I know next week we'll have 200,000. Sir, let's March is March to Service as a new initiative from Army Recruiting Command. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, that's great. March to Service is, of course, exactly what it's saying. I mean, in the month of March, we're gonna make basically a full court press, all hands on deck sort of initiative that is going to allow both our recruiting non-commissioned officers, our recruiting leaders, but I think the most important piece is it is an enterprise approach. We're reaching out to, of course, our general officers, our senior nominative command sergeants major. We're also reaching out to our civilian organizations, our civilian aides to the Secretary of the Army, reserve ambassadors, our veterans. And really, it's focused on getting out in our communities and really having a presence. COVID has really put us in a position where we lost our presence in our communities. And in some cases, we lost the touch points with our school systems. I'll just frame it as an example. We lost two classes of high schoolers. We lost the juniors and we lost seniors. So since the beginning of COVID, of the pandemic. And so those young men and women they're out in society. They're in colleges, they're out in the communities, and we lost them. And so we're going to reestablish our presence inside of our communities. And we want to make sure that America knows that the Army is still here. And we need an Army. We need a strong Army. If you look at what's going on around the world today, there's no better time now than to have some very talented young men and women to serve in the United States Army. So that is really what March to Service is all about. It's about getting back out in our communities and really using every asset, every enabler, every influencer, every uniformed person to be able to talk about the great things that our Army is doing. And then I think the last thing about what we're doing is really changing the landscape. We know that this young generation relies on their peers. And so we really have invested a lot of time into, capitalizing on the young men and women, these young 19, 20, 21-year-olds who are currently serving in our FORCECOM units, doing great things. They're working on aircraft. They're driving tanks. They're shooting artillery. They're doing, all of our STEM sort of skill sets that the Army really needs. And we are using them to go back to their communities and talk to their peers about their experiences and what it is to serve in the great United States Army.
Well, one of the things, as you was talking, I was thinking, one of the things I wish you'd do, and first of all, you always got my support. I'll help you in any way I can. But I think it'd be nice if maybe, I don't know, once every month or once every 60 days, we get a little from the veteran community and going through the retirement services or whatever to talk about, what's the 3 or 4 things the veteran community can help you with. Because I love, first of all, I love the Army, and I love to do anything I can to help the Army each and every day. I know everybody I talk to, the company, I have a small company, they're all retired sergeant majors. They all love the Army, and they'll do whatever we can to help you each and every day. So, hey, Sergeant Major, can you tell me a little bit about how you hope to reinvigorate these partnership stuff that you've had for the military?
Yes, SMA, absolutely. So the CG mentioned about all of our leaders going out and engaging in the cities across the U.S. And that's really what we want to do. It's a campaign to do this across America. And really, we want to connect with our community leaders. We want to connect with those influences in our communities to really talk to them about the opportunities and the Army benefits that is available for our people and for the youth out there. And really to kind of, address those misperceptions about the Army. And so that they can go out and further promote what we do and what the Army has to offer to the people that they influence. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to arm our community leaders with this in some of our cities across the U.S.
Well, most people never see the active duty Army unless you live around a military place. But if you look at middle America, they don't see the Army. They see the National Guard normally, and they judge, and the National Guard does a great job, but they judge the Guard and they think it's everybody, but they don't see much of the active duty. Right. Which is unbelievable. And I think, and I don't know why we don't do more things like that. I've always thought that we ought to be on national television talking about the military and telling people more about what they do each and every day, because you do so many great things. That's for sure. If you're listening out there, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. And we have changed sort of how we mission our units now. We really sort of spread our presence when we talk about reaching into the communities, and so we're allowing our NCOs to really own their geographical areas, the areas that they operate in. So we want to, because we have some areas across America where you're right, you don't see the presence, but the way we have started missioning our NCOs is really getting after going into spaces that we have not had a major presence in, and putting the right recruiting NCO. Whether it's the right gender, the right ethnic group, so that it matches that community, so they can see people that look like them. They can see that you can serve. And you're right, we have not had a presence where we need it to be, but we reestablished our missioning model, and we're looking to make sure that we have presence pretty much all across the United States of America.
Yeah, it's the other thing I think is really neat about the military, I may have told this last time, but I'll tell you again. I came in the Army, I wasn't a good kid, I was a bad kid. The Army, I always tell people the Army saved my life and it changed my life. It made me who I am today. And I think that's for a lot of people. It really made you grow up. And any successes I've had in life is 3 people. Of course, God, my wife, and the United States Army. Those are the 3 people that really, and all the people I met in the Army, of course, they helped me out a great deal. Again, if you're listening, the Army is a great place. If you've never talked to a recruiter, if you don't know anything about the Army, go into a recruiting station, sit down, talk to somebody, learn about. Tell me again, how many different MOSs do we have in the military?
We have 150 SMA.
Yep.
150 MOSs. Lots of skill sets out there. Lots of technical skills. Yep. Not just combat arms jobs. And so anything you want to do, the Army has.
Yeah. I told somebody the other day, if you put the Space Force, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, and Navy and Air Force together, they're still not as big as the Army.
They're not. Absolutely. Right. They're not. Absolutely.
And I think the other important thing about our Army, which is different from all the other services, is you're going to get your skill. You're going to get your career field. We're going to give you your career field, so you'll know what you're going to be doing in the Army before you even ship off to training. And that's something that some of the other services don't do.
Well, one last thing, we're going to take a quick break. The other thing is, you have to get out of your comfort zone. A lot of people don't want to get out of the community. They want to stay in that community. But if you want to grow in life and you want to really do something with your life, step out of that circle a little bit. Go to the next circle and start growing and developing as a young adult. So I think that's the right thing to do. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Your Next Mission podcast.
You're watching Your Next Mission, proudly presented by the Cavalry Agency. They help brands dominate no matter their size. Ideas, strategy, action. This is Cavalry. Learn more at cavalry.com. Navy Federal Credit Union, the most trusted credit union owned by members of the military community, serving all branches of the armed forces and their families. Their members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Purdue Global, providing affordable online education for hardworking adults. Learn more about a personalized, innovative, and world-class education at PurdueGlobal.edu. Veterans United Home Loans, the #1 VA lender for 5 straight years. If you're buying, they're funding your dreams. Learn more at VeteransUnited.com. Now back to your host, the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, Jack L. Tilley.
Welcome back. I'm the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, Jack L. Tilley. We're blessed to be here today with Major General Kevin Vereen and Command Sergeant Major John Foley. I got to say, 2 of my friends from Army Recruiting Command. And I want to tell all of our listeners to reach out to me directly. Tell us about your transition out of the military. We want to help. You. Not only do we want to bring you in the military, we want to help you get out of the military too. So tell us what topics you'd like us to cover on this show. You can call me or text me at 844-424-1134, and I'll reach out to you. Now, I'll reach out to you. I'm not going to send a messenger. I'm going to contact you and see how you're doing. Or send me an email at smatilley@yournextmission.org. The other thing I'll tell you, I love to have fun, so let's have a good time. Okay, let's pick it up where we left off. We're heading into our final segment with you today, and I hope both of you have enjoyed it just as much as I have. Every time I talk to a soldier, it just pumps me. I'll be hovering for the next 2 or 3 days. I really just have a couple of more questions. Sir, we've been hearing about the Army's new initiative. I guess they have a $50,000 incentive bonus. First of all, I want to say they never had that when I was on active duty. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this is a very new initiative, as you mentioned, and we want to make sure that. As you know, in this environment now, it's all about our competition for talent. It's all about how do we compete in a very, very tough environment. And so some of it focuses on, we want to make sure, first of all, that it's just about service. It's about you wanting to serve. So service is really should be the first and foremost approach in how we screen our applicants and how we career them, about service to their country. But I'll tell you, the financial incentives have really been able to allow us some great flexibility and some great capability when it comes to competing in a very competitive environment. And so we're offering $50,000 bonus. This is the first time that we've been able to offer that. Now, I'll tell you, we offer some other substantial bonuses as well. We offer $40,000. We've got quick ship bonuses for folks who ship between 30 and 90 days. I mean, there's, the amounts vary. And so we have some very, very appealing sort of incentives. But the $50,000 bonus is out there. We want to make sure that our young men and women that have an interest in serving in the Army, hey, just come to one of our recruiting stations, reach out to one of our recruiting NCOs and have a conversation. And we can definitely discuss what incentives match you and what skills that you would, definitely fits based on all the things that you do and the things that you present. All those things come into play as to what we can provide and what you can provide for the Army. So we're excited about the $50,000 bonus.
Yeah, it's almost like it's your money. You look a little pumped up right there. I was supposed to get a $10,000 bonus in the military, and I had like 2 weeks too many, so I only got $2,000. I was going to quit. But my goal in the Army was to save $5,000. I thought I'd be rich. But yeah, that's tough. Hey, Sergeant Major, aside from financial initiatives, what are some of the other initiatives the Army is offering right now?
So you'll get a kick out of this. So since you missed out on $50,000, you probably
don't tell me nothing else now.
Yeah. So you probably missed out on station of choice too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we have 10 locations right now where an applicant can enlist and choose one of up to 10 duty stations that we have available. Some of those: Fort Bliss, Fort Polk, Fort Hood, Fort Campbell, Fort Drum, Fort Stewart, Carson, Joint Base Lewis and Cord, and then Alaska. I think I got them all, maybe. And so you can choose one of those. And if you look at the geographical location of those, it's spread out all over America. And so that incentivizes and kind of gives you some predictability on, hey, I can choose my MOS, my job, and I can choose the duty location. And you know what? I may be able to get a bonus with it too. And so that's powerful.
Yeah, it's all about allowing them to be part of the decision cycle. They want to be part of making decisions for themselves. And so you think about it, they get to decide where they want to be stationed for their first duty assignment.
That's right. So that's very recent from the last time.
That's good. I like that. I'm sorry.
This is about 2 months old or so.
Yeah.
And so, and the other thing, we brought this back. We had it a few years ago. Now we brought it back. Is 2-year enlistments. So we call it a 2+2, 2 years in the active duty. And then if you decide to ETS, get out of the Army, then you do 2 years in the reserves. So it's 2 years active, 2 years reserves. We did bring that back for some of our applicants out there that are maybe a little hesitant in having long-term commitments. And so instead of enlisting for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, there is a 2-year option now.
Yeah. You know, that really makes me mad because one is I can't get the bonus. I couldn't get my choice assignment, and now you guys are doing all that stuff.
Hey, SMA, I got a quick one for you. Hey, check this out. So when I joined the Army at 17 years old,
me too.
I just wanted to join.
Yeah.
Truthfully, and I was a senior in high school, and I was in delayed entry for about 9 months. I had no kid and did not know my MOS. When I went to basic training, they said, "Hey, what's your MOS?" I said, "What is that?" I didn't know, and I didn't care. I just wanted to be in the Army, and that is a no kidding true story. Yep.
Well, I gotta tell you why I came into service. I told you, I think last time we talked, I wasn't the best kid in the world. And I graduated at 17 years old. I was sitting down on the Columbia River drinking a beer. And the guy says, what are you going to do with your life? I said, I don't know. He said, you want to go to college? I said, well, guys like me don't necessarily go to college. He said, the second guy says, do you want to join the Army? And I said, okay. I didn't know there's fighting a war. You know, so yeah. You know, for you people, and the other thing I think is really important is families. Families ought to be listening to what you got, talking to families, telling them what's going on, because the Army makes you it makes you a better person. You know, it allows you to grow and develop. And I mean to tell you, the friends and the people that I met in the United States Army I could call them today and they'd do anything for me, and I'd do anything for them. It's a long life. It's a lifelong, I got to get the words out there, lifelong relationship that never goes away. And it's officers and non-commissioned officers, not just one side or the other. It's like this. We're all together. We're twined together. That's for non-commissioned. One of the other things I think is probably pretty interesting for you guys to talk about anyway, is you have a tremendous focus on education too. Is that correct? On the education about coming in and getting your degree and all that stuff. What do you want to, Sergeant Major, sir, you want to talk about that?
Right. No, absolutely. And so, I mean, in the Army, you can go to college and your tuition is 100% paid for, 100%. I did that personally, graduated with a bachelor's degree, didn't pay 1 cent for it on active duty. My spouse did it. She did it. She graduated with a bachelor's and a master's. And so it can be done, obviously, on active duty. And then when you get out, obviously, there's the GI Bill that pays your tuition as well, along with some other stipends for housing and, books and everything else. And so, and my wife used that after she retired to get her PhD. And so, not bragging on my spouse, but it can be done.
Yeah.
So And those benefits are there.
Yeah, no, I think the other aspect of this is we all know that everybody's not college ready coming out of high school. We understand that. So, and they just want to do other things. And so when we talk about, hey, you can do those other things, you can serve in the Army. And by the way, while you're serving, you're going to get a college education. That's absolutely critical. So we know that some of our young men and women, they're not college ready. And so this is an opportunity for them to have another approach at getting and acquiring a college degree. And then the second part of this is we also know that people fall on hard times. People that are in college right now, they fall on hard times, whether it's financial hardships or whether it's, their grades are just not, they're not ready for them to move to the next level. And we know that they have to look at other means to be able to now vector in a different avenue. And we're there. We want to make sure they know the Army is there. And so we have opportunities for them to be able to, have a soft landing per se, and get back on their feet and serve. And then, of course, have a free education on the back end of this.
Yeah, no, again, I was blessed to serve in the Army. And again, the people are listening to today. If you haven't talked to an Army recruiter or you don't know anything about the military, take your time to go down and sit down and talk to them. You don't have to join, but you'd be surprised the kind of things they offer you and how your life can change. It's really funny. I've been working. You guys are going to say I'm old now, but I have 3 great grandbabies. Now that means I'm old. Yeah, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So the oldest one, Ethan, I'm already talking to him about the Army. I want to go in. Oh yeah, I'm working.
Gotta get him early.
I couldn't get the rest of them to go because a couple of girls, they said they wouldn't look good in the uniforms and stuff. But I think he's a smart.
Mate, you better be careful. We'll be sending a recruiting NCO to ring the doorbell and say, hey,
no, that's fine with me. hey, so first of all, God bless you for what you do, and again, the people that are listening. We have a great Army, the best Army in the world. I told you before, it's not the biggest Army, but we have the best technology, the best leadership, just the best of everything. And take a look at it because we're proud of our Army. We're proud of our country. We're all Americans. We do the job for you. And that's what it's all about for all of us. Hey, any final thoughts, anything you want to share with the audience other than you want to send me that $50,000 bonus or anything? I'll accept that with no problem.
We can afford it.
I'll start with Sergeant Major.
Hey, so
okay,
now I get to go first.
Good.
Absolutely. So I know we've been talking about active duty options for the regular Army, but there are also Army Reserve options too.
Yeah.
And so, and that all depends on what the applicant wants. So if the applicant, what their goals and benefits are, what they want to do, align with their family, is more suited for Army Reserve, we have those options as well. And we can keep those individuals pretty close to home as well in those units so they can serve here at home, but still be part of the Army. And then the last thing is our veterans. You mentioned it before. It's probably one of the biggest challenges we have with connecting the Army to America is our millions of veterans we have. We have so many of them. I think it's like 8 million, plus or minus a few there, but 8 million veterans that can really help us connect our people, our youth, and really, grab them and influence them in a positive way. So I really ask and encourage all of our veterans out there to please get involved and reach out to a local recruiting station and reach out to see how you can help. And you'll be amazed, what you can do and the power you have within our communities.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I'm going to just, Sergeant, I'd probably say the recruiting stations at whatever location, they should try to reach out to all the veterans in their community. There are different ways to do that.
Too, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's mutual.
Yeah.
It is mutual. We have veterans organizations and so forth, so it is mutual, yes.
Yeah. The other thing is I'm pretty active on social media, and I think, and I'm sure you guys are too, get active a lot more on social media and tell your story. Last thing, I don't put you on the spot, is there a website that if somebody wants to come in the military, I know you know it, what website would they go to? Probably just U.S. Army?
They just Google Army.
Yeah.
That's it.
GoArmy.com. It's Go Army.
Go Army.
Go Army.
GoArmy.com.
But for our young people, if you just Google Army, it'll take you right where you need to go.
And we can get a recruiter on there to help me out. Okay. All right, Sergeant Major. Sir, any comments?
No, I think Sergeant Major really emphasized the power of our veteran community, the power of influencers. We also say, tell your story, but we also know our influencers, veterans, they know people who could definitely be willing and wanting to serve. So we bring them down. We'd be more than happy to receive them and find a happy fit for them in the U.S. Army. The last thing I'll tell you, our Army is really, like you said, Sergeant Major Tilley, it is the best Army in the world, but hands down, no question about it. And what I can guarantee you is that Sergeant Major Foley and we are committed to ensuring that our Army remains that way. And so we will do whatever we can to ensure that the Army remains the best Army in the world. Every single day, we are looking at young men and women. We want young men and women of all different categories to know that there's a fit for them in the United States Army. One day, we're going to take this uniform off, and we want to rest assured that our Army remains strong and still remains the best Army in the world. And that's our commitment to our nation and its commitment to our Army.
Yeah, there's well said. Well said. There's no question. I just, again, before we get out of here, I just want to tell you, thank you so much. And again, for the people that are listening today, we have a great Army. We have a great country, and we live in this country. We have ups and downs. There's no question about that, but that's just part of life. That's the part about growing up. But I tell you, the Army takes care of their own, and they'll take care of you. So go to a recruiter, sit down, talk to them, and let your parents go in there with you, of course, and sit down and talk to them, tell them what's going on. I got to think, and that's the key to success. If your parents get involved, they'll point you in the right direction. That's really, I got to tell you one story before I get out of here. I always love telling the stories. I may have told you this last time. Before I came in the Army, I lived in a laundry room. I ever tell you that story? Yeah, I lived in a laundry room. The last 2.5 years of my life at home, I lived in a laundry room. A bed, just big enough to put a bed, had 3 shelves that I'd put my clothes on, and a little vent I'd look out. I lived in a small duplex with my mom and my sister. And, I'm not even sure how we lived and how my mother paid for whatever we had to have. But the Army, like I said before, changed my life. It allowed me to grow to the person I am today. Now, some people will say that's not very good. I'll say I'm not bad. but it's the Army allowed any successes I had in life. I mean, the Army really pointed me in the right direction. And it gave me that motivation that I needed to sort of move forward in life. And I think sometimes, again, people stand in one spot and let things circle around them, and they don't step out of that circle of life. Step forward in life. Move forward and find something that'll change you and help you. And that's what the United States Army do each and every day. So I got to thank Major General Kevin Vereen. First of all, I tell you, I love just talking to you, sir. Thank you so much. And Sergeant Major John Foley from the United States Army Recruiting Command. You guys are really the kings of our military, and you do such a tremendous job to really help our country. Really, I was going to say unsung heroes, because a lot of people don't see all the things you do. And, it's just great. So I thank you for what you do each and every day, for not just for this old retired guy, really for our country. And keep up the great work. I'm Jack Tilley, 12th Sergeant Major in the Army. You've been listening to Your Next Mission podcast, and thank you for listening today. In fact, if you haven't learned anything, first of all, if you're a young person, a man or woman, and wants to change your life, go to a recruiting station, sit down and talk to somebody and see if you can change your life. When you talk about education, you talk about development, you talk about $50,000 bonus. Wait a minute, I'm in for that one. But it's about life. It's about growing up. It's about doing and making things better for you. And that's what the Army will do. It'll make life better for you each and every day. So go ahead and check them out. Talk to them and see how they can help you. And I'm certainly sure they can. Please visit us at yournextmission.org and leave me a review about this show. Now, if it's a bad review, I can still take it. But if it's a good review, okay, I love that. But give me a review. You can also visit our partners there, who can provide you with so many services that will assist you in your transition from the military. If you're getting out of the service, check it out. They'll help you out. Also, please visit our corporate partners and see all the jobs that are available for you. Please know we want to assist you in any way we can. I want to say that again. Please know we, it's that Army team in there. Please know we want to assist you in any way we can. It's one team, one fight. We're all together. One country. It's America. And so let's stay together. Please follow me on all my personal social media channels. I never in my life thought I'd ever say that. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'm all over it, guys. Check me out. And if you enjoyed this discussion, and I know I did, like I said, I'm hovering right now with Major General Vereen and Sergeant Major Foley. Please click on us and hit that subscribe button below and join our team. You know, Army's got a team, the United States Army. We got a team of veterans and family members that love this military, and I say it again, we're going to do all we can to help this country and help our military. As I said earlier, we have a special Your Next Mission t-shirt for the next 20 subscribers. So I'm gonna point at you two before I leave here. Make sure you subscribe and get that t-shirt. Please make a comment below and so we can get in touch with you. Don't forget, we want to hear you. Please leave me a message or send me a text at 844-424-1134, or send me an email at smatilley@yournextmission.org. And again, I'll actually contact you. So thanks again to Major General Kevin Vereen and Sergeant Major John Foley for being with us today. I laugh a lot, I joke a lot, but God bless you guys for what you do each and every day. It was great just having you on the podcast. And I really today for our listeners, I want to, not just today, but every time I talk, I want to tell you, I want to leave you with something. I want to leave you with 3 things to remember. Maybe it's 4, because I want you to go to recruiting station. I want to talk to the recruiters and see about joining the military. But we're dedicating season 2 of Your Next Mission to all those veterans and family members who struggle with mental illness, which so often leads to someone taking their own life. And I've told a story, and I'm going to keep telling it because I want people to talk to each other. You know, I had a couple of friends here about 6 months ago that both committed suicide. And I thought to myself, how come I didn't check on them? How come I didn't talk to them? It's the little things in life that you need to do. Reach out and talk to your veterans. You know, we're all part of a separate community that loves each other, that wants to take care of each other. So reach out and talk to them and really see if they're okay. Because I know I do it every week. I'll find somebody I haven't talked to in probably 20 years, and I'll reach out to them just to check on them and see how they're doing. Even my old platoon sergeant I have years ago that I certainly love. Second, I'm proud of my service. You can see right now I got that U.S. Army hat on, and I love it. You know, I'm proud of my service. And if you're proud of your service, as I know you are, each Friday I want you to wear your military hat. If you're in the Navy, Army, Marines, Space Force, whatever it is, wear your hat. Show your colors. Show people we're proud of our country and we're proud of our military. And I'll tell you what, I told you about all my social media channels. Send me a photo. I'll put it on there for you. You know, we want to share. And I want to encourage everyone that's listening today, reach out to your neighbor. You know, the military taught you a lot of stuff, but it taught you how to lead and take care of people. So I want you to reach out to your neighbor, offer them a smile or a helping hand. Together, let's try to bridge that divide that affects so many of us each day of their lives. So let's make this a better place for all of us each and every day. Again, thanks for listening, and thanks to Cloudcast Media. And of course, our 4 presenting sponsors, Cavalry Agency, Navy Federal Credit Union, Purdue University Global, and Veterans United Home Loans. We appreciate all they do for our military. See you on the high ground. Hooah!
You've been listening to Your Next Mission, brought to you by the American Freedom Foundation. Learn more by visiting yournextmission.org.